This is a framed SEGA Game Gear, sent to me by Grid Studio. This is not a paid promotion. I was given it for free to talk about on FrameRater. Yes, after all this time, I'm doing justice to my channel's name as I finally rate a frame. The following are my personal thoughts on the product. First, getting this in the mail, it felt very secure and packaged well. They've wrapped it on their own. We've got Grid Studio paper with a ribbon around it, actually stamped. Here's a 15% code off my next order. Also, there's this QR code. And this is the 13 by 13 inch frame. A very nice one at that. The border feels very smooth, and it's no trouble at all to disassemble. Speaking of disassemblies, additionally to the Game Gear, there are dozens of other products that you can get framed, ranging from video game consoles to controllers, phones, watches. There's even a MacBook Air listed on the site. I wish I had a Game Gear to compare with. Sold mine just last year. Looking at this thing from a distance, it's beautiful. You've got the handheld's cover, buttons laid out across its white background, the power switch, speaker, logos, a fun picture of 8-bit Sonic running in Green Hill Zone. It's aesthetically pleasing. They've got written details about a couple of its inserts. Would have liked to see a bit more documentation here, but I guess at that point it might get a bit cluttered. Now, there is something I feel inclined to mention because it was the first thing I noticed when I looked at it. This Game Gear's housing is not in very good cosmetic condition. I've certainly seen worse, and there is some charm to knowing that it got a lot of use in playtime. You know, that's what they're built for. But now it's going on my wall, right? You want it to look good. And yeah, it does at a distance. But is this not meant to be looked at up close? Maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing, though. What do you guys think? One question I've had about this myself is, does this Game Gear actually work? Sadly, to test that would end up destroying the effort that went into securing this stuff in there. The back housing is missing as well, so we wouldn't even have a complete system regardless. I've heard that someone managed to restore one of the Game Boys, though. My guess is this stuff gets purchased in untested bulk. Then they'd use whatever parts are salvageable for the frames. Who knows if these inserts came from just one Game Gear. Alright, let's get this thing on the wall. Very cool. Again, from a distance, the cosmetic flaws aren't noticeable, so ultimately, I'm not disappointed. Granted, these can be a bit expensive. Their products vary in cost, however the Game Gear one will set you back around $200 USD or $270 CAD. What you're paying for is essentially the piece of art over the console itself. A loose Game Gear unit in 2023, according to price charting, goes for about $50 USD. So that's somewhere in the vicinity of $150 USD or $200 CAD for their effort. Is that worth it? Well, I do really like this thing. A couple years ago when they were first announced, I was pretty tempted, though the price tags can be a bit intimidating. I could DIY one myself for much less the cost, of course it wouldn't look as nice. So is the labor worth the price tag, and how badly do you want it? Because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Alternatively, I could see this being a nice gift for that one techie guy who's hard to shop for. I plan to keep this up on my wall for the foreseeable future. It is a quality product despite a few shortcomings. Thanks to Grid Studio for sending this to me, and thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. See you next time!